Hey hackers, welcome to AzefoxInnovations' new video on solving a CTF room from TryHackMe named as Bounty Hacker. So this room is a boot to root type of a CTF challenge, right? So generally boot to root type of challenges are like you will actually get a machine, right? And you need to boot the machine and you need to compromise the machine and you need to retrieve the flag, right? So generally boot to root machines are like kind of similar to somewhat pen testing, real life pen testing scenarios. Even though like it is intentionally vulnerable, the path is like somewhat similar, right? Because you will start from the very basics of like the initial access part, like you'll find a web application, you need to then exploit that, then of course you need to gain access, then you need to pivot or you need to do lateral movement steps, then you need to perform privilege escalation, and finally you need to achieve, you should be, or you need to be the root part to actually retrieve the root.txt or the root file, right? The root flag to be precise. Okay, so yeah, Bounty Hacker is actually a easy machine, right? From TryHackMe, where you actually need to, where the entire flow is like you will actually get a normal site where you will get some uses from there, and you also get FTP anonymous login allowed, right? So generally, FTP anonymous login is somewhat like giving like kind of a public access, right, without any strict credentials, right? You can actually use the username as password as anonymous, and you can log in into the FTP server, right? And there's no proper strict restrictions, or there's no proper password like being enforced at that time. Okay, so then you will actually you will retrieve a list of word list, right, from the FTP server and also a user. Then you will perform some sort of SSH brute forcing. Then you will connect to the SSH. You will actually do SSH into the machine. Then you will actually escalate your privilege using the by abusing the sudo command, like the sudo part. Then you will escalate your privilege, and finally, yeah, you will actually retrieve your root.txt or the root flag, right? So I already booted up the machine. This is what the machine's IP address here, right? So the very basic part, or the very basic part of pen testing, right? As you people know, that you need to start with nmap scanning. Like of course you need to first start with your basic enumeration, right? So I'm also going to do the same here. We'll start from nmap hyphen A stands for aggressive scan and nmap, which actually combines OS detection, then script scanning, then also you have version detection, etc., like all combined into a single script. I would say this is called a single flag. That's called the aggressive mode, right? Then you can pass for IP address, right? Just enter this and we'll start our scanning, right? If it is like too consuming, you can also use hyphen F option, which stands for fast scan, which only scans the first 1,000 ports, right? And you can actually display the ports as quick as possible, right? So yeah, as I've already like performed the enumeration part priorly, right? So I already have the scan results over here. Let me just get nmap.txt. So as you can see, we were able to see that we have three ports over here, right? Open ports. First is about the 21, which is the FTP server. As what I said, we already have the anonymous login being allowed. So we can actually use anonymous as a username and both the password, and then we can actually gain access to the FTP server. Then we have the SSH. For this, of course, we need credential. And third is we actually we got a web server running on port 80, right? So we'll start with the very basic of doing enumeration on HTTP part. I mean the web server, right? So I will just paste the IP address here, and after pasting it, it's actually some kind of conversation going happening here, or the conversation, but it's kind of a garbage conversation, right? So but that's not important here. What's this? It's like we are able to retrieve some sort of usernames, right? Which will be really helpful for us while at the time of brute forcing, right? Brute forcing username and passwords, right? So we'll, for some basic enumeration over the site, we can check the robots.txt. Let's see if we're able to uncover anything. Okay, nothing. Then we can actually check the page source. Okay, nothing important here too. Okay, so nothing interesting here. We can actually note the usernames here. It's Spike, jet. Okay, let me create a new users.txt, a new file. In that we will start with the spike, then we have the jet, then we have add, and the final is file, right, for users. And as we got some users, now we are actually going to do some further enumeration over the site. What we are going to do, we are going to do something called as directory brute forcing, where we will uncover hidden directories, right? So this is actually possible with the help of word list, which we already have, which already come pre-installed with Kali Linux, right? So we are going to use a word list from the derb, or the derb tool, right? So DARB is also like another directory brute forcing tool, right? The most famous one is the Go Buster, which you're going to use in this video. So the syntax for this is like Go Buster hyphen var for directory brute forcing hyphen u http, then the IP address, then we actually need to go the W here stands for the W stands for word list. Then we need to user share derb, then word list. Finally, we have the the common.txt is like generally used mostly for directory brute forcing. So we can just enter this, and we need to wait here till the brute forcing process get complete. But as I already brute forced the site priorly, I already have the results here. Okay, so let me cancel this and let me just add here, and this is for the result of the gobuster.txt, right? So you can see we have many files here, but nothing is interesting here. As was like nothing is actually interesting here. So this is like kind of a rabbit hole for us. It's not a rabbit hole, but yeah, like we didn't got any hint, right? So now we'll again go to our nmap scan, and now we'll actually focus on this part, the FTP login part, right? So we'll log in the password. The name is anonymous, and the password, okay, it didn't even ask for the password. That's really good. Okay, so now ls, we are able to see we have two files here, right? We have logs.txt and we have task.txt. So now we need to download this file into a local system, right? Because I guess we won't be able to to get the contents or to see the contents from the FTP server itself, right? So for that we can use a command like mget and star an asterisk symbol for wildcard, which means like download all the files. Mget means get the files, right? Let me enter this, and it will ask. It has some options here. A for all, so I will give all, as we have two files here. Like, or else we need to give Y, which means yes for both the files individually. So yeah, the first file downloaded. Now the second file also downloaded, and let's check if anything is like there any hidden hidden directory being present there. Nothing like that. Okay, so let me exit out from here. Let me clear the screen, and okay, now we need to check the files as logs.txt or task.txt. So let me cat the file for task.txt. This is protect vicious, plan for red eye pickup on the moon and blah blah blah, but it's like nothing important. But at the end we got another user known as Lin. So we will add this user to our users list, right? We'll use Lin. And now let's check the another file, which is the logs.txt. Okay, and this file actually looks like a word list. It has like many combinations. Like I guess it is actually a password. Like that is the password for the SSH. You know, within this file, we need to brute force that with the usernames we have, right? So for doing the brute force attack, we for performing the brute force attack, we have a tool known as Hydra, right? Hydra is actually generally used for brute forcing things and all. So we can actually utilize Hydra for this purpose. So the command goes like like this, the syntax Hydra, and don't worry, Hydra comes pre-installed with Kali Linux, and also with ParaTools, so it's not an issue here. So Hydra, then for the users part, we're gonna use L, which is for users.txt. And for password, we have the which is the logs.txt. Yeah. And after this, you just need to mention the IP address, right, of the target. Just paste this, click enter, and it's actually performing. It's actually starting the brute forcing attack, the brute force attack as of now, right? So we need to wait here for a few seconds. I guess it will mostly done this. It will do this. Okay, it says no valid password form. Okay, so let's try with the last user, which we actually which we get from the FTP server, right? So we'll try with the user Lin here, and let's check this. If it is not working in a word list, then we can actually try it individually. So just wait here, and as you can see, we were able to see a successful login attempt here. The password is Red Dragon Syndicate 3. Okay. We'll also try with the other user, right? The name is like let's say Ed. And we need to wait for a few more seconds, and it says that the password no valid password found, right? So I also tried with all the other users individually. It didn't work out. Only with the user Lin it got worked out. Okay, so now we have the password for the SSH password, like, so we can actually now do SSH into the target machine, right? So the syntax is like SSH Lin, the username at the rate the target IP, right? I just enter, and just give yes, and it will now ask for the password. Just copy the password and just paste it here, and now we are into the target SSH server, I would say, right? So the username is Lin, and now from here we need to escalate our privileges to root to actually achieve our goal. The goal is simple, like you need to get the routes.txt or the flag.txt, right? So we have the user.txt, which is the user flag here, right? And yeah, now it's time for us to escalate our privilege, right? So without wasting time, we'll directly get into that part. So generally, privilege escalation can be either done manually, right? Like you need to look at the entire system, you need to do enumeration manually, right? Or else you can use automated scripts here, right? But we'll actually cover that part, or the automation part, the automated scripts. We'll actually cover that in another video. But as it's a simple room, I will just explain you the part of the sudo command, right? Sudo hyphen L. So this is actually a quite common way. Like what this command actually states is like it actually uh, you know it's like it's like used to check what commands the current user can actually execute with root privileges, right? So like as you can, let's say you have the let's say we have the cat command, or like if you have any sort of a command, and we can actually if that command, we can utilize that command to actually escalate to root, right? In layman terms, it's like it's to actually check what commands the current user can actually execute with root privilege. It can actually give the current user the root privilege, right? So we'll for that the command is like sudo hyphen l, and ask for the password. Once again paste it, and as you can see, this current the username as Lin. The Lin user can actually run the tar command. As you people know, tar is actually an kind of used for file archiving stuffs and all, right? So we can actually utilize this tar command, and we can if you're able to utilize this, like if you utilize this, we can actually be root, right? So now how to abuse this, that where the main concept comes in, right? So we have a site, something called as GTFO bins, right? GTFO bins, which is, I would say, a database, right? Like literally a database for all privilege escalation things related to Linux, especially with any sort of command, or SUID binaries or capabilities, etc. Whatever it may be, you can actually utilize this tool for performing privilege escalation on especially Linux, right? So now we have bunch of options here. We can like we can search for many things. We can actually abuse a lot of things, like as what mentioned here, right? So but for this room we will only focus on the tar command, and as you can see we have the tar command here, and here is like, as you can see that if the binary is allowed to run as super user by sudo, right? So like this is what our need is by, like we need to satisfy this need, right? Like we already have the we already have the ability to do this. Now we will perform the escalation by actually using this command. Upon running this, it will actually gives us the root shell. So let me run this command, right? And you can see, I guess we will be root. We are root now, right? So that's what the magic of GTF opens. It's like almost like giving you a one-liner to actually escalate your privilege from a normal user to the root user, right? So yeah, and that's what it is. If you go to root directory, we'll be able to access the root directory to cat root.txt. I'm sorry, cat root.txt. Right. So yeah, hackers, like that's what it is for this video. I will also focus on solving other easy, medium, and also hard level boxes in both TryHackMe and HackTheBox in the upcoming videos. And yeah, to be honest, we are actually starting a new series, right, for CTF write-ups. So this is the first video we are actually focusing on, and we are also covering on, right? So yeah, that's all for this video. I will cover you. I will meet you all in another new video, right? So yeah, so make sure you follow and subscribe to Azefox Innovations for more informative videos, guys. Okay, so bye hackers, we'll catch you all in another new video. Bye.